I cannot be the only person that remember that one episode of Love After Lockup where that girl was cooking a roast and she tried to say it was a steak on national TV while she was on a dinner call with her prison boyfriend. I wanted to scream at the TV. That is a fucking roast, girl. Stop playing in my face. Anyways, we making some pot roast tonight, so we going to season our meat and then we going to sear it off. We going to cut up all our vegetables, potatoes, onions, celery, and some carrots. And then you don't have to, you could dice this. Not chop it. You don't have to do it in no neat way. It's going to be in the pot roast. Then we're going to put our pot roast into our pressure cooker and we're going to start on our little mix. This is how I do it. I should have got a bigger pan, but I didn't have it. So I had to use what was on hand. So I start by adding some red wine and letting that dry out. And then I add some tomato paste to it. I also added some flour to make it kind of like a gravy as it cooks in the pressure cooker. And I add my beef broth to it. Better than bouillon. I only use a spoonful of it because we don't want it too salty. We already seasoned our roast. I add some Worcestershire sauce or W sauce. Then I add this beef by Lipton, Recipe Secrets. If you know, you know. I add some thyme and aromatics to it. And then I let this simmer just a little bit to get the flavors throughout. I can't really stir it too much because the pan is too small. I should have got a bigger pan, but I was not thinking. Anyways, I add that over into the pressure cooker. And then I add my potatoes last. And then I put the lid on it. You can decide if you want to cook this longer than me or shorter than me. It depends on whatever you want to do, how tender you like it to be. But I put mine on 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then I actually added some more time. I added like 30 more minutes. Right now I'm making some mashed potatoes and sweet potato cornbread, so I start by making sure my potatoes is fork tender, and then I'm starting on my heavy cream and butter for my potatoes. So I'm heating this. I'm not boiling it. Do not let this boil. Only heat it up over low heat. And I added butter and I added some seasonings and aromatics to it, garlic and everything like that. And then I give it a stir and I let it melt, the butter melt into the heavy cream while I start on my cabbage. I add beef smoked sausage, peppers and onions. And then I get this a little stir and then I get started on my cornbread while this is sauteing. So this is sweet potato cornbread. This is not Jiffy. This is homemade cornbread. It's cornmeal flour and all of that good stuff. And then here I am. Those are my dry ingredients. These are my wet ingredients. So I got the sweet potato, eggs, milk, everything going into this bowl. Then I mix it together and it looks like that. I spray a baking dish with some Pam. Your name is Pam. And I put this in the oven. This takes about 45 minutes. So if you want to go ahead and get this out the way first, that's smart. I season my cabbage and then give it a stir and let it finish cooking down. By this point, the cabbage is done. I'm ricing my mashed potatoes. If you want to get some smooth mashed potatoes, get a ricer. I add that liquid that I'm heavy cream and butter over into the mashed potatoes, and I stir it into smooth like so. And then boom, just like that, Sunday dinner, Sunday's best. Yes, ma'am.